Hi, my name is Lee Marzano. My movie presentation is on the 100-Foot Journey. So the synopsis of my movie is that it's a feel-good movie with a more serious purpose, to spur viewers to see cultural differences as an asset to become better people. The movie is conventional and a little bit predictable, but it does have some redeeming qualities. So the plot of my movie is that a Muslim Indian family named the Kadams previously ran a restaurant in Mumbai, but was burned down due to political riots. So the family travels to Europe and settles in the small French country town. The first citizen to treat them with civility, her name is Marguerite, and she offers to help the family and provides them a place to stay. The family revives the small French town by opening a restaurant named Masine Mumbai, and it offers a different culinary experience and worldview to these very small-minded French individuals. But the new restaurant sits right next to another one that has been very established. The name of the established restaurant is Le Saule Plié, the Weeping Willow, and it's the exact opposite of what Masine Mumbai is. So, the Weeping Willow restaurant is very conservative, very upper crust, very expensive. And the proprietor of the Weeping Willow, her name is Madame Mallory, and she attempts to dissuade the family from taking the new building 100 feet away from hers. Hence the name, the 100-Foot Journey. So the conflict kind of reaches its culminating point on Bastille Day, when one of the chefs at the Weeping Willow actually spray paints xenophobic images and slurs on the building of the Maison Mumbai restaurant and actually sets the Kadams family restaurant on fire. The main son, Hassan, he catches the arsonist, but he is burned in the process. And Madame Mallory feels such guilt and personal responsibility for this action that she fires the employee on the spot and cleans the graffiti off the remnants of the the remnants of the restaurant, Maison Mumbai. So the Hassan, he's hurt by the fire, but he is this emerging individual who is going to be the bridge between the upper crust French culture and the bridge between the more relaxed Indian culture. So, hearing from his love interest, Marguerite, the first citizen to show him some kindness, is that the best test for a chef is their ability to cook an omelet perfectly. So Hassan asks Madame Mallory if he can cook an omelet for her. So after tasting the Indian-influenced omelet, Mallory recognizes Hassan's potential and takes him as a apprentice. She also begins to understand how different cultures can make things better, how it can make her slowing down her less progressive restaurant more progressive, more uprising, more current, and more new. So the father of the Kadams is opposed to the idea because of Madame Mallory and his son going away to a new culture, but he obviously in the end gives in. So Hassan's cooking evolves into a fusion of Indian and French cuisine. Essentially, he is becoming both a French and an Indian citizen, a cross culture of these two very individual, very unique cultures. And eventually he gives Madame Mallory's restaurant a second Michelin star. So Hassan takes a job in Paris. He comes back with Marguerite, and he actually owns a part of the Weeping Willow restaurant at the end. And at the end of the movie, he cooks for them all and is taken to the restaurant across the street, and everyone is happy. And they enjoy the dish in the courtyard of the Maison Mumbai. So the film is relevant because it is a piece that appeals to two different audiences, both the Western and the Desi Bollywood aspect. So it has these beautiful, colorful scenes, and music is bright and it's loud, but it also has very popular Western actors that can catch people's names really quickly, like Helen Mirren plays in that movie. Oprah Winfrey helped direct it after she featured it on her globally renowned book club. So the film goes beyond cultural and racial limitations seen in many Southeast Asian films. It shows two displaced cultures coming together and going after something by taking really big risks. And so at the end of the movie, it's perfect for viewers to see a dream about a successful blend of cultures where everyone feels valued and everyone feels significant. Some things I saw while watching this movie that we talked about in class, and about sources of identity, that class is an identity. That's a big kicker. So, based on the concept that identity comes from class, one is either owning a means of production or your mean of production is the labor that you sell. So, the film has underlying strands of what social class means in regard to race relations. So, the madame is meant to signify the upper crust, traditional, white, supremacist French. And the Kaman family represents the working class, so building their success from nothing. So Madame Mallory expects those around her to be directly like her if they're successful, and she only hangs out with successful people. So when the Kamans get success, that challenges her worldview, and that people who look differently can achieve something perhaps even greater than her. And this scares her, and it should kind of scare the viewer as well, because that sort of thought lies in everyone. Another thing that I did see were barriers to intercommunication, so stereotypes and prejudice specifically. So there are two very unfair stereotypes that target Indians, is that they are dirty and chaotic or uncivilized and undisciplined. Something great about this movie is that it had those stereotypes only through the eyes of the other culture, using ethnocentrism. But it did not have those stereotypes and perpetuate them and have them unresolved at the end of the movie, so it could continue in the readers' or the viewers' minds. They had those stereotypes only to overcome them and show that differences make people stronger. Moving back. So, due to a French government census in 2017, we know that 4.7 million people in France are Muslim, yet discrimination they face is remarkably higher than other Western countries because of anti-integration sentiment. That is made true in the movie when the Kaman family is unfairly judged and the community misinterprets Madame Mallory's actions, assuming that she is incapable of change. Another thing that I did see was cultural dimensions in the terms of individualism and collectivism. So the movie contains two diverse cultures and the way each stress cooperation and competition. So the Kamans moved from a community that supported them and stressed community integration because they moved from a very collectivist society. So this is due to the fact that they are Muslim and come from a Muslim community where their culture is dictated by Islam, their religion. And in Islam, they follow the 5 pillars. So when they arrive in this very tight-knit community that excluded them from engagement, because that society, the French society, are very individualistic. They're very tight with one another, and they don't like intruders who aren't French. Only when the Kamans got success from their restaurant did the community approach them with open arms and interest. So the French people come from an individual society which stresses self-direction and self-achievement. So when the Kamans got that self-achievement, the French people were very interested in them. Not saying that they are shallow, but because they are fitting with their individualistic culture. So they're not progressing from a collectivistic culture, the Kamans, but they are integrating into both. So they're making that bridge, they're making that jump. Another thing that I did see very, very stand out was ethnocentrism, which is judging aspects of another's culture by looking at the lens through your own lens, your own cultural lens. So all the characters are guilty of judging one another, but Jean-Pierre stands out as the biggest culprit, and that's because he uses racial hate speech and slurs. He's the one who spray painted and set fire to Maison Mumbai. So, to make an example of him, he was fired on the spot by Madame Mallory when she found out. And it's supposed to be an example of what harmful attitudes and actions can get you. In 2019, the French Institute for Public Research conducted a study on 1,000 Muslims aged 15 years and older. And study findings suggest that 40% of Muslims in France felt that they were discriminated against. So that's more than a third of what was recorded in the past 5 years, suggesting there was an increase in the overall mistreatment of Muslims in France in the past years. In the news, the closure of mosques around the country, the proposed new 2021 security law regarding the police, and the beheading of the school teacher and subsequent targeting of Muslims over liberal cartoons are examples of growing unsettlement in the country. And the last one that I saw was nonverbal communication. So all parties in the movie could speak the same language, but bonds were formed by cooking together. Nonverbal communication. The business of food is what all these characters had in the same. The lack of silence. Casual communication. In close quarters, and the use of artifactual communication in the kitchen provided them a way to communicate. Cooking is a form of nonverbal communication that all the main characters could enjoy and contribute to. So that is the end of my movie presentation. I will include this video and my multimedia presentation along with my outline below. Thank you very much for listening, and have a great day.